The DC Universe has created some truly iconic superhero and villain teams, but who is at the top of the pyramid? Join us as we count down the top 10 most powerful teams in the DC Universe. Kicking off at number 10, Young Justice. Young Justice unites a roster of some of DC's best young heroes whose unique abilities and personalities complement each other perfectly. At the core, Tim Drake's Robin leads with strategic brilliance, martial arts mastery, and detective skills, guiding the team through complex missions and ensuring cohesion even under immense pressure. Superboy, or Connor Kent, brings the raw power with his superhuman strength, speed, flight, and tactile telekinesis, making him a daunting force in battle and a key player for heavy-hitting threats. Then we have the speedster of the group, the kid out of time, Impulse, or Bart Allen. He's the grandson of Barry Allen from the future. And then we have heroes like the demigoddess Wonder Girl, who is Wonder Woman's niece, and then Teen Lantern. And finally, my favorite of the group, just because I adore her concept so much, Princess Amethyst of Gemworld. She wields the full powers of the Amethyst bloodline, manipulating hard light and crystals to her will. The team's strength is amplified not just by their powers, but by their deep friendships, stability, and mutual trust, allowing them to overcome adversity together and making Young Justice a powerhouse in the DC Universe. Number 9, the Titans. Not the Teen Titans, unfortunately, though I do love them, operating with just a bit more maturity than Young Justice simply because they are a little bit older. The Titans are an intimidating DC Comics superhero team known for their diverse skill sets and powerful lineup, each member contributing uniquely to their collective strength. Led by Nightwing, whose tactile genius and leadership keep the team cohesive, the Titans benefit from his experience as both a bat detective and a martial artist. Donna Troy brings Amazonian strength and resilience, making her a powerhouse in battle and a moral anchor, and I think she might actually be the leader now, but don't quote me on that. The Flash, Wally West, offers the super speed and time travel in emergencies, allowing for rapid response and time-sensitive interventions. Arsenal, or Roy Harper, is a master marksman and weapons specialist, adding strategic firepower. And then we have Beast Boy, who can turn into any mammal, and even things that are not typically considered mammals, like dinosaurs and dragons. Cyborg, with his half-robot body, provides invaluable electronic support. Princess Starfire brings power and compassion and unparalleled icon energy, but the real powerhouse of that team, and I would argue probably the most powerful of any of them, is Raven. Daughter of a demon, she wields magical abilities that rival even some of the strongest DC characters. Tempest has also worked with the team in the past and wields Atlantean magic and aquatic abilities, providing versatility in both combat and support roles. Together, their combination of leadership, superhuman abilities, and tactile expertise makes the Titans one of the most powerful and adaptable teams in the DC Universe. Number 8, the Supermen of the multiverse. The team is literally like every Superman or Superman-esque hero from across the multiverse. I probably honestly should have ranked them higher. The Supermen of the multiverse is an exceptionally powerful DC Comics team that's composed of alternate versions of Superman from across every multiverse, each bringing unique strengths and perspectives to the group. Assembled during the major cosmic threat Final Crisis, the team includes iconic members such as, well, Superman, Captain Marvel, Captain Atom, Overman, and personal favorite, Captain Carrot, and literally every super from Universe 0 to 52, each representing the pinnacle of the respective worlds. Their combined might is formidable. Superman of Earth 0 provides leadership and classic Kryptonian abilities. Captain Marvel adds magical prowess and wisdom. Captain Atom wields quantum energy. Overman brings like the darker militaristic edge, and other members like Apollo, Calvin Ellis, and Mr. Majestic contribute powers ranging from solar energy manipulation to advanced alien technology and tactical genius. Together, these heroes are capable of confronting multiversal threats that no single Superman could handle alone, making the Superman of the multiverse one of DC's most super teams. But this has been a lot of talk about heroes, so let's get into the villains, because they also unfortunately team up with each other. So number 7, Dark Knights. The Dark Knights of the Dark Multiverse are among the most horrifying teams in DC Comics, composed of entirely twisted alternate versions of Batman. Assembled by the Batman who laughs for the god Barbados to conquer the multiverse, each member brings a unique and terrifying set of abilities to the group, making them a near unstoppable force. We have the Batman who laughs, who is the leader, and also the disturbing combination of Batman's tactical genius and the Joker's jokerness, orchestrating their campaigns with ruthless efficiency. Members like the M. Derbyshine fuse Batman with Cyborg, granting him a near invincible nanotech body and the ability to control technology, while Dawnbreaker combines Batman with a corrupted Green Lantern ring, wielding dark reality warping energy. The Devastator infuses Batman with the Doomsday virus, giving him the monstrous strength to eliminate Superman. Red Death merges Batman with the Flash, granting of course the super speed, and the Merciless dons Ares' helmet, so he's wielding godlike power and combat prowess. Then we have other like really cool members like Ark, a combo of every villain that has ever lived in Arkham Asylum, which is a nightmare. humor, and then V-Rex, which is just the bad dinosaur. Each Dark Knight is a fusion of Batman's intellect and the powers of DC's greatest heroes or villains, making the team collectively more dangerous than any single member could ever hope to be. Number 6. The extended Shazam family. The Shazam family is united by the magical powers granted by the wizard Shazam. Led by Billy Batson as Shazam, the team's strength lies in their ability to share the magical might of Shazam among its members, each gaining a portion of his legendary abilities. When only Billy is transformed, he wields the full power, and then when multiple members are transformed, the power is divided, but each still retains formidable abilities such as super strength, speed, durability, and the magical prowess. Each member is thought to specialize in a particular aspect of the power set, like Darla excels in the speed of Mercury, Pedro the strength of Hercules, Eugene the power of Zeus, kinda you get the vibe. This plus their strong bond as a family allows the team to tackle a wide range of threats with remarkable versatility. Halfway through number 5, the Green Lantern Corps. The Green Lantern Corps is one of DC Comics' most powerful and most famous teams, serving as an intergalactic police force tasked with maintaining order across the universe. Each member is chosen for their exceptional willpower and ability to overcome fear, which is essential because their power rings, regarded as some of the most powerful weapons in the DC universe, are fueled by willpower itself. These rings grant a vast array of abilities, including flight, survival in space, and most notably the creation of energy constructs limited only by the user's imagination and mental strength. The Corps is made up of thousands of Green Lanterns, each assigned to protect a specific part of the universe, and iconic members like Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and Guy Gardner each bring unique skills, backgrounds, and personalities that enhance the team's effectiveness. The biological and alien diversity of the Corps ensures that they can tackle threats of any scale, from cosmic entities to universal crises, with each lantern contributing their willpower, creativity, and courage to uphold justice and peace throughout the cosmos. Number 4, the Dark Army, back with some supervillains. The Dark Army is one of the most dangerous villain teams in DC Comics history, assembled during Dark Crisis and united by the cosmic manipulator Pariah and the Great Darkness. This team's power comes from its roster of some of the most destructive entities in the DC multiverse. The lineup here is insane. Starting off, we have Darkseid, the Tyrant of Apocalypse with unmatched strength, intelligence, and mastery over the Omega Effect. He is a multiversal threat and a massive problem, all on his own, and now he's on a team, which is really bad news. Doomsday, infamous for eliminating Superman, adds raw, unstoppable brute force. Necron, the embodiment of death, commands legions of undead and can erase life itself, of course. Eclipso wields dark magic and can corrupt even the purest of heroes, while Neron manipulates souls in reality itself. The Empty Hand represents a metacosmic threat capable of erasing entire realities, and Ares, the god of war, brings divine power and endless conflict. The Upside Down Man is the twisted reflection of magic, and Deathstroke, though human, is a master tactician and often serves as the team's grounded but lethal strategist and former leader, actually. Together, these villains amplify each other's strengths, making the most unstoppable, challenging, and terrifying team the DC Universe has ever seen. Number 3, the Circle of Eternity. The Circle of Eternity is the most powerful magical team in DC history, a team made of 7 ancient and immensely powerful wizards in the DC Comics universe. Based at the Rock of Eternity, the collective is basically judge, jury, and executioner over any being that upsets the cosmic order of the world. Charged with overseeing and defending the very fabric of magic itself within the DC universe, each member brings unique magical expertise and centuries of wisdom, allowing the team to balance, control, and protect mystical energies that could otherwise threaten reality. Their combined power is so great that they were responsible for selecting champions, like Shazam, to wield the power of the wizard, ensuring that magic is used responsibly. You might recognize them as the group that sentenced the Trinity of Sin, which is the Question, Phantom Stranger, and Pandora, to their respective fates. The synergy of their individual magical abilities, deep knowledge of the arcane, and shared responsibility for the world's magical order makes the Circle of Eternity a nearly unparalleled force in the realm of DC's supernatural defenders. Number 2, the Justice League. Now, I know you're probably sitting there how is the Justice League so high considering everybody else on this list? Well, depending on the writer, this team has or could beat every other team so far, and 2, they have a lot of power outside of the world of comics. They're one of the most famous superhero teams in all of human history, and that does count for something today. The Justice League is the best of the best, the world's greatest heroes united to confront threats too immense for any one hero to face alone. Each member brings unique abilities and strengths that, when combined, make the League a nearly unstoppable force. Superman provides unmatched strength and invulnerability, serving as the team's powerhouse and moral center. Batman contributes his unparalleled detective skills, strategic genius, and technological resources, and his money, often devising plans that save the team from impossible odds and, paying for everything when things go awry. Wonder Woman is a formidable warrior, blending superhuman strength, agility, and combat expertise with her unbreakable will. The Flash offers not only super speed speed, but also the ability to manipulate time, making him the team's secret weapon in dire situations. Green Lantern uses his power ring to create energy constructs for offense and defense, often shielding the team from harm. Aquaman commands the oceans and inspires both his teammates and the world with his charisma and leadership. Cyborg, with his advanced technology and hacking skills, can interface with nearly any system, including alien technology, providing critical support in battles and against high-tech foes. Martian Manhunter stands out for his versatility, wielding powers like telepathy, shapeshifting, flight, and intangibility, making him one of the most adaptable and powerful members. And that's only the teammates that you usually see. There's so many heroes in the Justice League and their reserves that it would take me probably an hour to get through them all. Together, the Justice League's diverse abilities and unwavering dedication make them Earth's premier champions and a benchmark for all other superhero teams. But finally, someone has to beat them, and number one, because we love the Justice League, but I wanted to spice things up, Quintessence. The Quintessence is one of DC Comics' most formidable teams, composed of cosmic and divine entities who oversee and influence the fate of the multiverse. This council has included Shazam, Zeus, Highfather, Ganthet, and the Spectre, and the Phantom Stranger, each a powerhouse in their own right. Shazam brings the wisdom and magical might of the gods, Zeus commands the Olympian pantheon, Highfather rules over the new Genesis and wields the power of the Source, Ganthet represents the guardians of the universe with mastery over the emotional spectrum, the Phantom Stranger embodies the mysteries of the supernatural realm, and together they possess near omnipotent abilities, allowing them to witness, manipulate, and even control and orchestrate events on a cosmic scale. Their influence is so vast that they have been linked to the rise of key superheroes that we all know and love. While they typically act as observers, their collective wisdom and power make them essential to maintaining multiversal order, though their detachment from individual lives often renders them controversial figures in the DC universe.
Alright, at number 10 we have the very silly but nonetheless evil Super Enemies. In the 1970s animated TV show Super Friends, there's an episode in 1979 called Universe of Evil, where Superman travels to an alternate universe to meet the evil counterparts to the Super Friends, very creatively named the Super Enemies. And the team is made up of all those bad guys we've all known so well and grown up with. You know, like Aquaman with an eye patch, and tinted red Batman, and oh, who could forget the iconic alien monkey Gleek. What a trailblazing team of supervillains they were. But as much as I roast them, they do actually pose a decent threat to Superman in this storyline, to the point where they team up with the military armed with kryptonite weapons, and even bring in their own version of Superman, giving our Superman a good old run for his money. But luckily, Superman Prime finds something called an antimatter flask, which turns all the super enemies back to being good again. Thank God Aquaman retires that eye patch and is no longer so intensely menacing looking. What a relief.
Number 9. Justice League of Assassins. Unfortunately, this evil Justice League didn't stick around too long. Being first introduced in Superman Volume 4, number 15 in March 2017, the Justice League of Assassins on Earth 14 were a group of augmented, mostly non-superpowered soldiers led by the obviously powerful Superman. The team was made up of Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Batman, Harley Quinn, and Green Lantern. With the exception of Superman, their powers relied mainly on weapons and technology, but primarily they used advanced firearms. Ultimately, they were all slaughtered, with this Superman being kidnapped by Prophecy, which is a shame, because this team looked super cool and they seemed to inhabit a pretty dark and grim looking post-apocalypse. Could have been very interesting.
At number 8 we have the Conglomerate. This group is basically a bizarro version of the Justice League created by Booster Gold. The group is formed after Booster's departure from the Justice League International due to a lack of respect from his peers. When Booster first fails to bring together a competent group of heroes to form the first iteration of the Conglomerate, someone named Claire Montgomery comes in to manage the group. With her, she brings along the likes of Deadeye, an alternate Green Arrow, Fiero, a guy with fire powers, Frostbite, an ice power guy, Elastaman, a stretchy man, Element Man, much like Metamorpho, Scarab, a knockoff of Blue Beetle, and Slipstream, a dollar store Flash. When they engage in a small friendly skirmish with the Justice League International, the fight quickly turns serious, and everyone learns at once that these new members have actually been brought from an antimatter world called Quard, and they're basically just entirely evil, and always had been. Luckily, the JLI take them down, but it's a close one.
Number 7. Squadron Sinister. This isn't so much an evil alternate Justice League as this team actually appears in the Marvel universe, but I'm gonna count it because I'm just stubborn like that. The original Squadron Sinister was created as a sort of obvious play on DC Comics' Justice League characters Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, and The Flash, with the characters Hyperion, Nighthawk, Dr. Spectrum, and the hilariously named Wizard, respectively. The team was created by the Grand Master after he encountered the Squadron Supreme, and they first appeared in Avengers number 69 when they were pitted against the Avengers in a game between the Grand Master and Kang the Conqueror. They're bad guys who are counterparts to 4 members of the Justice League. I gotta stop justifying my reasons. They're on the list. Argue with me down below if you don't like it.
Alright, at number 6 we have the Justice Lords. Appearing in the animated series Justice League in the episode titled A Better World, this evil team is led by a radicalized Superman. Radicalized because he witnesses Lex Luthor murder the Flash and threaten nuclear war. So, Superman decides he'd abandon the typical hero's code of conduct and kill the bald tyrant himself. And in this alternate universe, Lex Luthor isn't just some super rich supervillain working away and hiding, he's actually worked his way to becoming the President of the United States. So, after his death, there is a power vacuum to be filled. And who would be better rulers than this evil alternate Justice League? No one. They didn't think so anyway, so they take over and put in place a totalitarian government with the justification being that they are protecting humanity from itself. And they start calling themselves the Justice Lords, which, I mean, you should sort of know you're the bad guys when the word Lord is in your title. Luckily, the real Superman is able to catch on and take them out of power before anything goes too far.
Number 5, Injustice League. Okay, so we have the Crime Syndicate of America, but there was also a team of villains put together to fight that team of villains. So, sort of technically making these villains heroes, but also not really because they're still villains. Right? The important information here is that the Injustice League, at least the one I'm referring to, was formed to combat the Crime Syndicate of America from Earth 3. The team's villainous members included Bizarro, Black Manta, Black Adam, Catwoman, Deathstroke, Sinestro or Parallax, Captain Cold, and they were formed and led by Lex Luthor. The team first appeared in Forever Evil number 3 in January of 2014 when the Crime Syndicate of America invaded the Prime Earth universe and tried, and very nearly did, take over the world.
At number 4 we have the Injustice Syndicate. I know, lots of groups with Syndicate and Injustice in their names. Well, that's because this evil version of the Justice League actually exists as a sort of combination between the Injustice League and the Crime Syndicate, both of which are included in this list respectively. Appearing in Batman the Brave and the Bold, in the episode called Deep Cover for Batman, Batman manages to travel to their evil dimension and infiltrate their operations disguised as Owlman. He sees that this group comprises of an evil version of himself, along with other evil alternate versions of other heroes he knows and works with. While eavesdropping, Batman learns of their plans to, destroy other universes entirely, which of course, he feels is something he needs to put a stop to. And it can't wait, naturally. So he decides to take all of them on himself, and because he's Batman, and it is his TV show after all, he wins. Those universes can thank him later.
Number 3, the Joker League. In Emperor Joker number 1 of October 2000, the Joker has gained 99.99% of the reality warping powers of the 5th dimensional being, Mr. Mxyzptlk, and he used them to completely warp the world into an insane offshoot of our real world. In this Joker world, he has put together an evil, insane version of the Justice League called the Joker League of Anarchy. The team members include some characters we've seen before, such as Bizarro number 1, Enigma, who's the Riddler, Gravedigger Lad, who is actually Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, Harley Quinn, and Poison Ivy. He has also created completely new characters that are wholly original to this story: Ignition, Bounty, Schism, and Scorched. He even has Lex Luthor as a jester. They are basically just the henchmen of this already pretty much all-powerful version of the Joker. Just another way of keeping him entertained, it seems.
At number 2, I'm putting the Injustice League from the video game Injustice: Gods Among Us. Most of us already know how this story goes, but in case you don't, this is one of the cooler and more well-written storylines about an evil alternate version of the Justice League. In most cases on this list, these evil groups are created by an alternate reality, which is always fun but pretty simple to come up with. But this storyline shows a radicalized Superman leading the Justice League to the dark side. And like I said, this isn't because he's an evil version of Superman or one that's possessed by some evil force. He's genuinely turned to evil after the Joker tricks him into killing Lois Lane. So to combat this new unexpected evil force, Batman decides to bring in other members from the Justice League from another universe, and the result is some pretty great fighting gameplay. And right as the game was being released, a comic book series of the same name was also being released in tandem, serving as a prequel to the game. Where you can derive general story points from the game itself, most of the backstory I just explained actually comes from the comics. It's cool to see the video game and comic book worlds working in tandem, and they make a pretty cool new storyline that I figure has to be ranked pretty high on this list.
Number 1. The Crime Syndicate of America. The Crime Syndicate of America hails from the strength-obsessed Earth 3, and is a twisted, evil version of many characters who make up the main universe Justice League of America. Its members include Ultraman in place of Superman, Thomas Wayne Jr., aka Owlman, and Alfred Pennyworth as the Outsider, Superwoman, who was Lois Lane at one point and Donna Troy at another, the cowardly Harold Jordan and vengeful John Stewart, who are both Power Ring, which are evil Green Lanterns, at different times, John Allen and John Chambers separately also as Johnny Quick, Atomica, Sea King, Deathstorm, Grid, and John Johns. They come into contact with the main universe many times, and they almost always spell out bad news, as you'd expect from the antithesis to the Justice League of America.
Number 10. Doom Patrol. This team of freaks were all victims of accidents caused by the scientist Niles Calder. These accidents made the team members outcasts, but also granted them amazing powers, which made them capable of amazing feats. They also have members who would match up well against many members of the Silver Age Justice League. Their leader, Niles Calder, has a tactical brain that rivals that of Batman. Lucius Reynolds can wield magic and is capable of pyrokinesis, which could make him a problem for Martian Manhunter and could dehydrate Aquaman, who in the Silver Age needed to be exposed to water every hour. Danny the Street could make himself a yellow, inescapable void, thus trapping Green Lantern. One of Kay Chalice's personalities can see the future, making her a good candidate to go up against and counter Flash's super speed. Elastigirl's power to grow to huge heights is similar to Wonder Woman's recurring villain Giganta, making them a good matchup, and Negative Man can produce radiation, which he recently used in the latest World's Finest run by Mark Waid to imitate the effects of Krypton's red sun, meaning that he could depower Superman. He could also use this power to give Batman cancer, so all in all, the Doom Patrol is not to be trifled with. Number 9. The Teen Titans. A team consisting of the various sidekicks and young heroes of the DC universe, many fans would assume that the Justice League would have no trouble taking out this team. But I would argue that the Silver Age version of the team is less powerful than most of the more infamous Titans lineups. I mean, Silver Age Batman is the guy who wore a different colored bat suit every night to try and distract criminals from Robin's broken arm. In a fight between him and Nightwing, Tim Drake, or Damian, I would put my money on any of the Robins who have been on the Titans 9 times out of 10. Silver Age Martian Manhunter's weakness is fire? Well, good luck with Starfire. Superman would probably pair up best against Raven, whose magic would give him some trouble. Miss Martian's mind control would be effective against Green Lantern. Between members like Cyborg, Supergirl, Power Girl, and Beast Boy, I think Aquaman and Wonder Woman could be handled. The only leaguer I'm having trouble with is the Flash. Any ideas? Let me know in the comments. Number 8. The Shazamily. Billy Batson, aka Shazam's family of heroes are a powerful force to be reckoned with, and though their youth and inexperience might be a disadvantage if they were fighting the modern League, you have to remember how often the Silver Age heroes made really bizarre, borderline stupid decisions. Superman and Shazam have a history of going toe-to-toe and are pretty evenly matched, so they pretty much cancel each other out. Black Adam is currently a member of the Shazamily, and when he fought Martian Manhunter in the World War III storyline, Black Adam beat him so hard that he left the planet crying. So no issues there. That leaves 5 Shazam family members: Freddy, Darla, Mary, Pedro, and Eugene, all of whom have the powers of Shazam and their magical tiger Tawny against 4 leaguers: Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Aquaman. This version of Batman isn't really suited for this kind of fight, so whether or not the remaining 3 League could survive would really depend on how long it would take Black Adam to murder Martian Manhunter. Number 7. the Justice Society. Before the Justice League was introduced in 1960, the superhero team of the DC Universe was the Justice Society of America. They helped the Allied forces in World War II and have helped to keep the world safe ever since. This team gets a lot of points against the League due to the technicality we established in the intro. Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman were all members of both teams, so won't be considered in this hypothetical matchup. While that removes a lot of the League's heavy hitters, the JSA is still left with a considerable roster that would make them a nightmare for the remaining Leaguers. Black Adam is a member of this team as well, so as stated before, he could handle Martian Manhunter like he did in the World War III storyline. In a fight between Silver Age Aquaman and Hawkman and Hawkgirl, Arthur Curry is coming out of it as fish food. The JSA has their own Flash and Green Lanterns in the form of Jay Garrick and Alan Scott, so that would put the JSA on almost even footing. But once you include additional members like Blue Beetle, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher, and Mr. Terrific, I think the JSA takes it through sheer numbers. Number 6. Young Justice. Yet another beloved team of young heroes who were mostly sidekicks who formed their own team, Young Justice wouldn't last long against the modern Justice League, but once again, you have to take into account the weaknesses inherent to the Silver Age versions of the characters. For example, while you might assume that the first Aquaman, Arthur Curry, would wipe the floor with the new Aquaman and former Aqualad, Jackson Hyde, the Silver Age version of Arthur wasn't summoning leviathans or causing tidal waves, he was riding dolphins and hanging out with an octopus named Topo. As I said in the Titans entry, Tim Drake vs. Silver Age Batman is no contest. Teen Lantern might not be a match for Green Lantern, but if any member of the team simply painted themselves yellow, they would probably be fine. Superboy would probably take Superman by surprise with the sheer level of brutality he was capable of, and although he probably wouldn't win, if he teamed up with a character like Sideways who can open rifts to other dimensions, they could probably get him off the board for a while. Martian Manhunter could be trouble, but Jenny Hex's power negation abilities and the sheer power of characters like Amethyst and Naomi McDuffie, I think they could handle him. Wonder Girl and Silver Age Wonder Woman are probably about on par, and Impulse would be able to at least slow down the Flash, but the Young Justice ringer is Summer Pickens, who can dial her H-phone and be replaced with a hero from the Heroverse who can handle the task for her. Number 5. Justice League Dark. This subset of the League is dedicated to dealing with supernatural or mystic threats to the Earth, and has many of DC's most powerful magic wielders as members. Wonder Woman was a member of both teams, so she won't be considered in this entry. A member like Deadman, who can possess people, would be a good way to take out the Flash. The demon Etrigan almost killed the modern Batman in Kevin Smith's Widening Gyre, so Silver Age Bats is totally screwed. He's also yellow, so he could cause a lot of problems for Green Lantern. Superman's magic weakness would make him particularly vulnerable to all of the members of this team, but mostly Zatanna. And don't tell me you wouldn't love to see Silver Age Aquaman go up against the chain-smoking magic wielder John Constantine, who could just use magic to dehydrate him. All that leaves is Martian Manhunter, while the Dark Justice League still has a surplus of fighters like Dr. Fate, Swamp Thing, and Enchantress, just to name a few. Number 4. The Legion of Superheroes. The Legion of Superheroes are a massive team of superpowered people from various worlds in the 30th century. They have a history of traveling through time to team up with a young Clark Kent and preventing disasters before they happen. Unfortunately for the League, this means that their most powerful member is benched for this round. A Legion member like Element Lad, who can transmute common elements, like water, into other things, could take out this version of Aquaman pretty fast, while the Chemical Kid's ability to affect the chemical reactions in the body would cause Batman to go into toxic shock. Dragonwing can breathe fire, which would make Martian Manhunter have some issues. Despite Superman being off the board for both teams, the Daxamite Mon-El has a very similar power set to the Man of Steel and would be a real challenge for Wonder Woman, especially if he teamed up with another member of the team, Superman's son John. There's no one hero who could break the Flash's stride, but considering there are like 24 Legion of Superhero members I haven't mentioned, the Legion would take this fight over the original Justice League through sheer numbers. Number 3. The Bat Family. So obviously Batman is off the table for this pair-up of the League versus the various sidekicks that Batman has trained over the years. While I don't think that the modern Bat Family could take out the original League in open combat, their experience over the years in guerrilla tactics and their access to a Bat computer full of plans designed to take out way more powerful versions of the League's heroes would give them a definite edge. But even if we take away those plans as they were developed by Batman, the Bat Family has the know-how to formulate effective contingency plans of their own. In the recent Robin and Batman miniseries, we learned that coming up with plans to take out superpowered beings was one of the first first lessons Dick Grayson was taught when he was introduced to the Justice League and the Teen Titans. Characters like Tim Drake and Damian Wayne have shown a keen tactical mind, with Damian repeatedly bragging about how he would plan to take out the superheroes of the League. These Robins, teamed with other members like the various Batgirls, Batwing, Signal, and Huntress, would be more than smart enough to come up with their own plans to take out the Silver Age heroes of the League. We know they have access to kryptonite, although Damian claims to have a plan to defeat Superman in the comics that is magic-based. Dick Grayson beat up Green Lantern as a child in All-Star Batman and Robin after painting an entire room and himself yellow, so Nightwing would have no issues as an adult going up against the Silver Age version of the character. I like the mental image of Silver Age Aquaman having to try and go 10 rounds with the Red Hood, and although Flash, Martian Manhunter, and Wonder Woman would be difficult to deal with, the Bat family could take them out, and I know how cliched this sounds, if they had enough prep time. Number 2, the Green Lantern Corps. This intergalactic group of space cops use the power of will to fuel their Green Lantern rings, which allow them to create powerful constructs limited only by the user's imagination. Well, the logic I've used so far on this list on how other heroes could defeat Silver Age Green Lantern may initially sound like something the Silver Age League could use to their advantage, this weakness no longer affects the modern Green Lantern Corps. It was revealed that the weakness yellow was due to the being Parallax being trapped in the Green Lantern's central power battery on the planet Oa and causing an impurity. This impurity has since been removed, meaning that the League painting themselves yellow wouldn't help them. Both the Corps and the League obviously lose Hal Jordan due to him being on both teams, but that still leaves dozens of Green Lanterns for the 6 remaining Leaguers to try and deal with. While having the Flash, Wonder Woman, and Superman would make the League last longer than you might think, the sheer size and power of the Green Lantern Corps, with powerful members of later iterations of the League such as John Stewart and Guy Gardner, would make the Justice League outmatched. But maybe we'd get to see Batman take out Guy Gardner with a single punch again before it happened. Number 1, the Superman family. The Superman family might just be one of the most OP superhero teams in the DC universe, with many of its members having the same powers as the Man of Steel. In this hypothetical matchup, the Silver Age Justice League simply wouldn't stand a chance. Not only do they lose their most powerful team member due to the technicality, but they have to go up against heroes like Supergirl, Superboy, and the John Kent Superman. I think Kara Zor-El is the most interesting matchup against this version of Wonder Woman, and that Power Girl could take out Green Lantern with John Kent wiping the floor with Silver Age Aquaman. Martian Manhunter would be dangerous with his mind control, but a bolt of heat vision from Superboy would probably be sufficient. The Flash is tricky but by no means impossible to defeat in his Silver Age iteration, and honestly the biggest threat to the Super family would be Batman with his kryptonite. But Lana Lang's Superwoman is not affected by this, so she should be okay. Anyone left over from the fight would be in no condition to keep going for long, which is when the last line of defense would kick in. A super dog, cat, and monkey, all with the powers of the Man of Steel. Honestly, the Superman family is so powerful that even the modern version of the Justice League would have trouble triumphing over them if it ever came to blows between the two groups.